Cool. Hello, hello. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're back with Launch Coach Football. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Chelsea. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep, I hope everyone's getting happy and fat. And after watching the parade, and well, I hope you actually, well, because the game starts at noon. So watch this first, then watch the parade, then watch the games. How about that? Just
See, I wake up early and watch the parade. That's what I always did when I was little. I wake up at like 9 a.m. to watch the parade before I go out and eat food.
I tried to do that, but like the past few years, I just slept through. It's hard.
I gotcha. It's just so nostalgic for me, It just takes me back to my childhood.
I don't know, trust me. It's definitely blasting in my house because my mom's watching the parade that like she loves the parade. She watches it, she's all the musical stats. She that sucker's on at full blast and we're just like, let's just close the door because I'm
It's like,
tired.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mom.
Yeah. But yeah, we got no buys this week. Next week's the week 14 is the last week of the for buys, but this week we got all 32 teams playing over the course of 5 days, Thursday, Friday, actually no, 4 days, because there's no I thought it was a Saturday game, but it's
Is
Thursday,
there
Friday,
not?
nope.
Oh,
Thursday, Friday. I guess because college football, so
it's rivalry week in college football, so that's all of Saturday.
well, we might as well have rivalry week here because we got like
Yeah,
some
seriously.
Packers, like we're just looking at the teams, Bengals and Ravens on Thanksgiving, Packers and Lions. This is gonna be, yeah, and I guess technically not a rivalry, but I feel like Chiefs and Cowboys in terms of,
Texans Colts too.
well, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's the game for. I'm not gonna say game for the division, but let's just hop right into it. Let's just talk about the three games this week that we want that we're gonna keep our eye on. And even though you're a Colts fan, I think I would even want to watch this game because this is a big time matchup for the AFC South.
Yeah, I mean, I would think CJ Stroud would be back for this game. He's been out 3 weeks, which for not being an IR concussion issue is a long time. I mean, I know 1 week was short. If he had until Sunday, he may have played this past week against the Bills. So that may have contributed. I would expect he would be back for this game, which they're gonna need him. Um, we, I think it's I think Buckner's only been on the IR for 3 weeks, so I don't think we have a chance of getting Buckner back this week. Fortunately, it's at home. This is a big game. Colts offense needs to show up after last week and the performance that they put on, especially in the fourth quarter with all of those three and outs. Offense needs to show up. Shane Steichen needs to figure out that he has the best running back in football and arguably the best tight end in football as a rookie, and he needs to use them. The O line needs to pull themselves together. They've had a bad stretch of games. They started out the season great. They were the number one ranked O line for the first 7 weeks of the season, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. The offense needs to pull themselves together. They need to score some points and they need to win this game. I am less worried about the defense just because the Texans' defense has just been so inconsistent this year. I think that Woody Marks is good, and I think Nico Collins is really good. Outside of that, their weapons don't really scare me, though I do like Jaden Higgins, the rookie. I think he's out of Iowa, something like that. Um, Iowa State, maybe? It might be Iowa State. I really like him. CJ Stroud has had a down year, but if there is any week CJ Stroud would play like the CJ Stroud of old, it would be this week against us. But our secondary, honestly, we really have no excuses. And this was the same issue we had against the Chiefs. We are almost fully healthy. We have Buckner on the IR. Jalen Carlisles is one of our young linebackers that they really like. That's probably going to get activated this week, which should help kind of fill the void of Buckner being out. But outside of Buckner being hurt, we are pretty much fully healthy. We're playing a division rival at home. We're almost fully healthy. There is no reason we should not win this game, especially with how Houston has performed offensively this year. Now, their defense is scary, but if the Colts want to make a deep run in the playoffs, they're going to have to beat defenses like the Texans. So suck it up and do it.
Dang. And happy Thanksgiving now.
And happy Thanksgiving. No.
Higgins actually spent 2 years at Eastern Kentucky, then transferred to Iowa State. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They had three receivers in this past year's draft out of Iowa State, I believe, and Higgins was one of them. I think there's another one on Houston who's from there as well. I just can't recall his name right now. And then there was a third one, I believe, who got taken somewhere else, maybe, but they had at least three that were taken in the draft. They had some good receivers out there in Iowa, because what else do you do besides harvesting corn in Iowa? You play football.
Unless you're Caitlin Clark, then you play basketball.
That's true. That's so true.
But yeah, this is just a game opposites meet of one team has this dynamic offense that struggled to move the ball against, well, not even gonna struggle to move the ball, but they struggled in the second half to move the ball against Kansas City. And one team had a dominant performance against Josh Allen on Thursday night. And I think that's actually that's to me that's going to hurt the Colts, the fact that Houston gets an extra 3 days of rest by comparison. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going to happen with CJ Stroud, but honestly, David Mills has been
I
playing.
expect him to play, honestly. I would be surprised if he didn't.
That must have been a bad concussion then, because I think he got to get carted off the field. Honestly, if I my best of my knowledge, but at this
Yeah, no, I
point,
mean, Shartavius Ward got put on the IR this year for a concussion because it was his second or third one in the last year or two. He was out 4 games, so they can really put you down bad.
yeah, and but even then, like Mills have been playing just as good as Stroud. It's not like there's a big difference in terms of offensive production. The big thing to me is just like that defense for Houston's insane. That defense from Houston can hold basically almost any team, if not any team, to with you're always gonna be in the game with Houston if that defense playing at its top peak, at their top
That's
level.
true.
And it's gonna be hopefully Jones. I want to see how Jones will cover because
Me too.
I think like the I'm not gonna say like the wood's out at this point 'cause I think all NFL teams already knew Jonathan Taylor was the offense in terms of he was the main person on the offense. But I can expect them to start stacking the line, adding extra person on the line, focusing entirely on Taylor, and just being try to be as Indiana Jones. Like you're the one that's gonna have to win this game. Like I
I
think that
think that this game's going to come down to the Colts O-line play. If the O-line shows out and Jonathan Taylor can run the ball and Daniel Jones gets more than 3 seconds on occasion, we should win this game.
I'll say I'll ask you this. I know Tyler Warren, he's up there being one of the best tight ends already. He's played like 10 games, this 10, 12 games in his career. How much do you trust the rest of the Colts passing game? I mean, well, the receivers, Pittman and Pierce and everyone else.
So here's the thing. The Colts really don't have a bona fide wide receiver one on this team. Pittman was drafted to be that guy, and Pittman is good, but
Yeah.
Pittman is not a take over the game kind of guy consistently. I mean, like the Smith and Jigbas and the Justin Jeffersons of the world. But the way that the Colts make up for that is because all of the guys that they do have are all above average. Pierce is arguably the best downfield catcher of the ball in football. Josh Downs is an excellent route runner. Michael Pittman, really good possession guy. Big body in the red zone, really makes up for like Downs, he's not very big, for instance, so makes up there. Even Ashton Doolin, who a lot of people don't know about, he's really carved himself out a role in the almost everything. He plays special teams, he catches passes, he can do end arounds, he does all kinds of things. So I think he's more of a gadget guy. It does worry me that there's not a receiver who can take over this game, just if you look at their historical production. But the way that this team is built, if Tyler Warren is what Tyler Warren is supposed to be, he can be that guy who can take over a game. I know he's a rookie right now, and I know we haven't seen him do it yet, but he has almost 700 passing yards in his first season, and there's still 6 games left. I would be very surprised if he did not surpass 1,000 yards this season as a rookie. So if you can get Tyler Warren to the point where he can be that guy who can take over a game in the middle of the field, that frees up everyone else. I think Tyler Warren really probably is the sticking point for a secondary because normally most teams that you play don't have a dominant tight end who could do that. But when you do, you kind of have to reorganize your structure of who you prioritize. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Daniel Jones is going to have to spread the ball around a lot because I doubt that their number one corner sticks with one guy the whole game unless they pick Pierce just because he's the downfield threat. But I think the other guys are good enough to make up for it. I mean, I know how good Houston's defense is, but Indianapolis has had the best offense in football for almost the entire year. there's really no excuse to lose this game, especially considering that I'm not that afraid of Houston's offense. If we lose this game, I will be much more disappointed in this loss than I was against the Chiefs,
Okay. No, that's fair.
especially since it's at home as well. Shane Steichen needs to call the game of his life, okay? Please remember you have Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren on your team. Please. That'd be great.
No, we're gonna set up some passes. We're gonna make Josh Downs to start the game.
Ugh. I mean, he can be really good, though he's had a
Yeah.
down year, but he can still be really good. He's a great route runner.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, we go from one division battle for the top seed in division to another one, and that's the first game of today's festivities. Festivities. I can say that word. I'm smart. Packers are traveling to Detroit, and man, if the Houston and Colts were a battle of a great defense versus a great offense, this is literally the same thing in terms of the Packers. They're just an annoying team. They might be one of the most annoying teams to watch on offense. And it's going to be hurt even more seeing the fact that Jacobs is still out. He's not playing. And
Really, if you think about it, though, they're kind of the comparison team to what the Colts could be if they stick to their structure, because Kraft was that guy who would
yeah,
take over a game. Like, they have a bunch of good receivers, but they don't have a great receiver. It's the same thing as Indy, if you think about it. The only reason that it's different is because Kraft is hurt right now, which is really unfortunate because he's the linchpin of that offense,
it's not
and
even,
you can tell.
it's even more than that. It's the fact that Kraft and it'd be like if Warren got hurt and then Jonathan Taylor got hurt because Jacobs is still not out. Kraft's done for the
They've been
season.
going through it. And Jaden Reed is out.
He's been out for the entire year.
Almost, yeah.
Dobbs, he just can't catch anything right now.
Last
And
week they had five receivers on the injury report. Five, not even including Jaden Reed. I
and
was like, "Are you guys
And
okay?"
all
Or
that
like,
said, their defense has been like they showed. I'm not sure because I saw this stat during the 1 o'clock slate of games on Sunday. So maybe Myles Garrett passed him, but Micah Parsons has the most, I think, QB rushes or QB hits, even though he's not close in the league in sacks. He can get after the quarterback and at least force him to make a decision, force him to throw in the ground or just make a bad decision. Compare that to the Detroit Lions, who are coming off the Jahmyr Gibbs show on Sunday, our player of the week. 200 plus all-purpose yards and 3 touchdowns in a game they probably should have lost to the Giants.
true.
Their defense is just like
They have Aiden Hutchinson.
I'm good for them. The Steelers got
That
TJ
that
Watt. The Steelers
that's
got TJ
that's
Watt.
the
It doesn't
extent
matter.
of what they have right now.
I said Pittsburgh got TJ Watt.
And
Don't
Alex
matter.
Anzalone. They have Alex Anzalone, right?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, this is Simba at the start of the movie. This is Simba at the end of the movie. This ain't the big lion. Um, yeah, and Dan Campbell, he's always gonna be. If you're saying Shane Steichen means called game of life, Dan Campbell's gonna call the game like
Punt the
he
ball, bro.
no,
Just punt it one time.
no.
Just punt the ball one time.
He's
I
gonna
beg of you.
he's gonna look at his punt and like we're cutting you. We're getting a second. We're
He's
getting
gonna be like a long snapper. Don't know him.
just I don't know why they have punts and long snappers. Well, they have long like just cut them and just get like another receiver, get someone else. Like you don't even use them at this point. You can put St. Brown at that point, just punt it occasionally, but no, like this is also speaking of it, this is another team that lost their tight end for the season. Laporta, I wasn't expecting Laporta to be out for a year, but
I know. I was surprised. He had
that's
that back surgery, right?
yeah, that's it's so painful.
Their
It's
backup is Brock Wright.
call me crazy. I think they want Sam Laporta. They would probably much prefer
In
no
the
offense.
same way Luke Musgrave is the backup to Tucker Kraft. I suspect they'd rather have Tucker Kraft.
I'm happy that the Lions are good because the first Thanksgiving game used to always be the skip game. Like the only thing of relevance that happened, I remember in my memory for the Lions on Thanksgiving was when Peyton Manning in '04 tore them up, had like 6 touchdown passes by the early in the third quarter, and Tony Dungy was like, Peyton, I think you can rest now. You're good. You're good. And he's like, oh, man.
You can rest now. It's okay.
It's like the it's
Yeah,
like the,
no, that was embarrassing.
it's a Simpsons speech. Like, stop. He's already dead.
He's already dead. No, I mean, honestly, I think one of the biggest headlines in this game is whether or not Jaden Reed comes back because he almost got activated off the IR last
Oh, he
week.
was.
And apparently, he is pretty close to coming back. And of all of the receivers that they have, he's probably their one. So if he comes back, I think that gives the Packers more of a chance. But I'm gonna be honest.
You know?
Even if he is back in this game, I honestly expect the Packers to get destroyed.
Oh, wow. Which is the opposite of what happened in week one. In week one, the Packers destroyed Detroit. Detroit,
I know, but I
it's,
expect that Detroit is just gonna it's gonna be bad. Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna have like 400 yards from scrimmage. No, just kidding. But I mean, honestly, would it surprise you at this
yeah,
point? I
yeah.
mean,
Was it surprise you really? If like, I expect them like the Lions, if they get up on the game, they just go like, they're not even gonna give them. They're just gonna keep throwing it with golf. You just go throw it to Williams and the St. Brown, and you know what? Just for fun, we're bringing it back and Dominican Sue so he can step on the Packers quarterback like he did like all those years ago.
I really do think that one of the biggest headlines of the Lions this year is their loss of Ben Johnson because they have had a
Yeah.
very sporadic year when it comes to play calling, and you just expected it to get crazier when Dan Campbell took over. I mean, you just knew that it was just going to be uphill from there in the amount of craziness.
Yeah.
For example, Jamison Williams. Last week against the Giants, who have a terrible secondary, he had 0 catches for 0 yards. Like you got to incorporate that guy into your offense, especially with Laporta out now. I mean, your whole offense can't be Amon-Ra St. Brown and Gibbs, though if there were two players to run an offense single-handedly, that's probably who it would be. But I mean, still, you got to incorporate some more people into that.
No, that's fair. You expected it to be crazier, but you didn't expect it to be crazy in a good way, creative, different play calls, and you know what? That goes leads right into our next one with the Bears traveling to Philadelphia, and this is the
The
big
Bears.
the
Sorry,
thank
had to.
we're going like
It's
put
a
a count.
weekly tradition at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. This I need the Bears to start playing bad so we can stop
I
them.
just can't resist. I'm sorry.
It's so so fun to do, but they're coming off a big win against forget it, and and then
We just won't talk about that. It's
and then
fine.
the Eagles are coming off a big loss against their division rival, the Cowboys. One team has a very creative and innovative offense. The other team has an offense that I could call because it's just get him the ball, give him the ball. No creativity, just get some of the ball. Um, I keep wanting to say the Bears are gonna fall off at some point, and this would usually be the week I say it, but the Eagles just haven't been looking good the past few weeks. So I don't. So I expect this. I'm not gonna say the Bears are gonna definitely go win, but this is a push 'em game to me. This is a game that I can expect the Bears winning by a lot. I can expect the Bears to win by a little. I can expect the Eagles to win by a lot. I can expect the Eagles to win by a little.
It
I
could go
can,
either way,
I can expect a
honestly.
tie at this point. Let's have a second tie
Yeah.
this year.
It could go either way. You could get anemic Caleb Williams who completes like 9 passes for 100 yards, or you could get crazy Caleb Williams who completes 25 passes for 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. I'm gonna say it though. Give me the Bears. I don't know about how much because it could go either way, but I'm
Yeah,
taking the Bears. I don't
it's
even like the Bears. It's just fun to say. I still revel in the fact that we beat them in the Super Bowl when Rex Grossman was their quarterback. I was so happy. But I don't know. I just like them this year. They've been bad for so long. Just like the Lions. They've been bad for so long and now they're good. It's like, aw, the
I,
Bears. They're good.
I don't know why when you mentioned that, the first thing I thought about was the Americans game when they're interviewing payment like, yeah, like okay, we'll kick off the ball. Okay, 20, like after Devin has to return it for a touchdown, he's like 20, 30. Oh, he's still running. He's still running. Whose bright idea was it to kick it to Devin Hester? Just
That was all of our thoughts as Colts fans. Trust me.
and that was even though it's happy that Colts won, but that's the perfect way to start the game. It's just like this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see star players having like big plays at the biggest stage, and like they lost, but everyone remembers that Super Bowl as a Devin Hester returning it for his opening field touchdown.
If I was a Bears fan, that moment would be living in infamy for me. I mean, that was just awesome. You can't not appreciate that as a fan. I
Yeah,
appreciate it now, like 15 years later, after we won. You know what I mean? I watch it, I'm like, wow, that was impressive. In the moment, I was screaming, but that's okay.
I was the opposite when the Steelers, Cardinals, and Fitzgerald caught the ball on the in route and ran 50 yards for a touchdown. You were screaming. I was just stunned silence and like, oh, we're gonna lose now. And then Ben came down and won the game.
Yeah,
But
that was crazy too.
oh man, that was such a crazy game. But we go on to we talk about going to the AFC North and not the Steelers. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not sure if Joe Burrow is coming back. If he does, I think it's the craziest idea I've ever heard in my life.
I have a note. I read a headline today. Apparently, Joe Burrow is expected to play this game.
Why? This is why the Bengals are stupid. This is why
It's because they want money, Daniel. Come
they're
on.
getting money anyway. Like they're playing on a Thanksgiving game. They're gonna make money. No, you're not
Okay,
gonna.
technically, though, they're not out of it. If they win out, they could theoretically make it. I'm just saying.
You lost this game.
I'm not saying I endorse the decision. I am simply saying, statistically speaking, they're not out of it.
No, I'm just gonna say it's just, statistically speaking, they're out of it. Maybe not, but they're just out of it because this is the dumbest thing. This guy hasn't played in what since week two. He has
Yeah.
coming off a serious injury. You're taking him in Baltimore. You're going to Baltimore. You're trying to win a crazy division matchup against the team of the Ravens, who are now battling for their playoff lives, who are actually battling for their playoff lives, not the Bengals, what the heck the Bengals are trying to do. Joe Burrow is not going to stop your defense from scoring, giving up 40 points in the game. He can't play defensive back with a bad toe. He can play with a good toe. Like I guess,
Okay, Daniel, but here's the thing. If Joe Burrow plays and they beat the Ravens, that's good for you. So you of all people should be cheering for Joe Burrow.
I'm cheering for the. No, trust me, I am cheering for Cincinnati, which is the only time you'll ever hear me say that because I do not like Cincinnati. They're my least favorite team. But first of all, they take us away from seeing Joe Flacco beating the Ravens in Baltimore. I would love to see that. I
Yeah,
would
that's
that.
true.
But
That would be legendary.
but
Maybe
just,
Joe will re-aggravate his toe and then other Joe will come back in
if he actually re-aggravated his toe, I might just put like a live on social media, just me as a Bengals hater, just speaking,
screaming.
just so like
Ah!
just you are, like just look up put up the thesaurus fool idiot stupid.
Look up the definition of dumb. It's this game.
I'm just it's just like you know what, do it in Cincinnati, just destroy any chances you have at potential get, because if he re-aggravates it, this was like a 3 4 month injury. You're hopefully assuming he'll be ready for training camp next whatever. I think you know what, Ravens are going to win. I'm going to root for the Bengals. Ravens are probably going to win. Joe Burrow doesn't. Oh my goodness, I can't.
Honestly, dude, this whole saga with Joe Burrow gives me Andrew Luck flashbacks, to
I'm
be
like,
completely honest, because Andrew Luck was a generational talent. Joe Burrow is arguably a generational talent. I mean, he's
yeah,
really good. Look at what happened. The Colts tried to rush Andrew Luck back. They thought he was good. He wasn't. He had a bad O line. He had talent on offense, but he had a bad O line and he had a bad defense. And look what happened. He retired early. Imagine the angst Bengals fans would be feeling if Joe Burrow was just like, peace out. I'm done. I have endorsement deals. I make, hundreds of millions of dollars a year from Nike and whatever.
he
I'm
should
done.
he should pull a
That
Matthew.
would be devastating. I would feel their pain, dude. I've been there. I think I shed a tear when Andrew Luck retired. I was so shocked.
Oh, I get that. I would. You said you're shut here. I'll drink like nice job, idiots.
He's like, I drink their tears.
Exactly. I don't think he'll retire. I think he'll pull a Matthew Stafford and just like just trade me from the to an actual competent organization, please.
Hey, there are less competent organizations, trust me. It could be worse.
Yeah, he could be a Jet. Good point. Um,
Or a Jaguar. Or a Brown.
yeah, should do is going to take over the Browns. Should do is going to be a new Otto Grant.
Hey, we'll see. He looked pretty good outside of one or two plays last week.
Well,
And
one.
apparently Dylan Gabriel's getting activated from his concussion protocol, and they're still starting Shador. So,
Well, that's well. Cleveland's used to quarterback controversies, but going to back to in terms of two quarterbacks, one quarterback who's set in stone, the other quarterback who we're still kind of iffy about. Um, the number one seed Rams are traveling to the potential number one team in division favorite at this point. 'Cause
which is crazy, just as an aside.
we spent the first half of this season just saying the Panthers are done, blow it up, and then a bunch of injuries to every team in the NFC South later. The Panthers,
Might I say, at the beginning of the season, I said that the Bears and the Panthers were my sleeper picks for the wild card. And look where we're at. They both might be leading the division.
Chelsea. when we do that end of the year, we look back at our predictions. Like,
Some of mine were bad, but those two, I've
I'm
hit on those two
gonna
so
look at
far.
Chelsea's and give Chelsea. You're picking my wild numbers from now on.
Be like, pick a name out of this hat. This is who you're picking.
But yeah, the Rams tore to shreds the Buccaneers on Sunday night. Matthew Stafford looks like the best quarterback in the league. He looks like the obvious MVP candidate, and I think at this point, I would say he's probably played himself into the Hall of Fame late in his career. I don't know any other quarterback or any other, I don't know any other athlete that like the last like the mid 30s onwards are just like, yeah, now I'm a Hall of Famer. When they're like their first 10, 12 years in the league, they're like solid, but not like obviously a superstar. And the Panthers are in the position of hosting the Rams and potentially becoming I guess at this point they are the favorite to win the South just because the way the division is lined up. But this could go a long way if they somehow pull off the upset. I doubt they pull off the upset, honestly, because I think the Rams are the best team in football. But I'm just happy how good the Panthers are at this point. It's like, yay, they like this isn't just luck after luck after luck. Like their offense with Rico Dowdle as the number one running back, with McMillan
McMillan.
McMillan as the number one
He's a
receiver.
dog,
He
dude.
he is. I'm not even gonna say he came out of nowhere because you saw hints of it last year, but I think if
Well,
you
he's a
had
rookie. He was really good with Arizona, though.
what? Oh, I must be thinking about someone else then. I might be thinking about what I always confuse him with Xavier Leggett. That's
Oh,
why.
Leggett. Yeah, he
I,
played at South Carolina.
yeah, I always confuse him. 'Cause I was like, he was good last night. No, that was the other one. That's Xavier was good last. He was okay last year.
Dude, I would trade the house to get Ted McMillan on the Colts. That dude is going to be good for a long time. And I'm sure you do the same for the Steelers. I mean, he is really good. He has some drop issues on occasion, but outside of that, he is yeah, he's
Did
really good.
Or you say the Panthers have any, even though it's in Carolina, but do you think they have any chance against this Rams team?
Honestly, no, I don't. I think that the Rams and the Seahawks are the cream of the crop in the NFC at this point. And I trust the Rams more than the Seahawks because I trust Stafford more than I trust Sam Darnold. Even considering how good Sam Darnold has played for most of the year, I still trust Stafford more.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers could put up a fight if their offense shows up. Like you kind of mentioned earlier, the jury is still out on Bryce Young. He has shown flashes. He has shown what he can be, which is really good. When he's on, he's on. But he is kind of Caleb Williams-esque right now. He has games where it's like, why is this dude our starter? And he has games where it's like, this dude is our starter. Like literally, Panthers fans have been oscillating the whole year. Like they're like, we're bad, we're good, we're bad, we're good. And now they have a winning
I,
record and they're like, we're good,
I,
I
th
think.
I think so much about this team changed when Hubbard went down with his injury and Dowdle became the number one back
Yeah,
because when he became because that was like week seven, six, seven, eight.
I think so. Yeah.
I keep measuring the NFL season about when I was in Texas for my cousin's wedding because that was his first week as the number one back and he had like 200 yards against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
And ever since then, he's been playing like one of the five, 10 best running backs in the league, and that opens up so much on their offense.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I
And I mean,
just
their defense has outperformed expectations too. I mean, everyone thought their defense was going to be horrible, but they've actually really played quite well for a lot of this season.
Yes, I don't think they're gonna play that well this
Me
week
either.
now.
I think they lose this game. But I'm saying, generally speaking, in regards to the
Yeah,
totality of this year, really everyone thought their entire defense was Derek Brown and JC Horn. Which, in fairness, on paper, it is. They literally don't have anyone else who's like a big name. But man, I don't know. I guess Avero is just like doing something crazy in the game prep or something because their defense has honestly looked pretty good for a lot of the season, better than their offense, to be honest.
yeah. Some of the off topic was still kind of on topic. It's like you'll trade like I'll trade anything for McMillan. Like which receiving core would you rather have for the Colts? Would you rather have well duo? Would you rather have the Eagles with Brown and Smith, or you rather have the Rams with Adams and Puka for the
Brown and
Colts?
Smith.
Really, I actually might go for at least a 1 year sample, even because they're older, but because Adams is older before 1 year sample. I might go with Puka and
Well,
Adams.
I wasn't aware it was a 1 year sample. If it was a 1 year sample, I would probably take Puka and Adams just because Puka is arguably the top receiver in football. However, if it's more than a season, I like Brown and Devontae better because they're younger and they are still both very dynamic.
Okay, at this point, then going to our last topic, where would you put same thing, but you add CD and Pickens at this point with Dallas?
Man, I mean, Pickens kind of has resurged his
Yeah,
career. I don't love CD's drops, but
he's still talented.
I'd of the three of those teams, I'd probably have to go CD and Pickens at this point, which is crazy because Pickens looked like he was going to be a bust last year. He's
I
completely revitalized his career in Dallas.
That's one prediction I'm to pat myself in the back. One prediction. I remember when they traded for Pickens. I said this is a top five receiving core in football, not receiving core, receiving duo in football. And they were like, "Oh, are you sure about?" I was like,
To
"Trust."
be fair, though, his body of work would not tell you that.
I think it did though. I just think he was on a bad QB led teams because. But when again, I was watching these games. The Steelers would have like one or two dynamic plays on the offensive game, and they were usually because of George Pickens. He would.
So you're saying that you would rather you'd rather have Kenny Pickett throwing passes to George Pickens, is what I'm hearing, which is why George Pickens was bad because he had Kenny Pickett, because Kenny Pickett was, a
I'm gonna
pretty
say
high pick and was supposed to be touted. And man, you want to talk about someone's career who just fell off the map,
I think he
dude.
got.
That was bad.
I think it was he just to me he just didn't have a shot because he got injured. He had a couple concussion problems. He had a tail offensive corner in Matt Canada, and I think his confidence kind of waned. I saw moments with Pickens, like Pickett,
He had some moments with the
Kenny.
Steelers. That's true.
I remember his rookie year, he had like four straight fourth quarter comebacks. Like, okay, we got something here. And then the next year, it's like, oh, he's like somewhat regressed, but how much of that is the injuries? How much of that is the defense? But again, going back to
Yeah,
Pickens, he is the master of a game going like 3 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown, and the one of the catches to be like a 50-yard bomb. That
that's
was
true.
that was the quintessential George Pickens game in Pittsburgh. But and now he's potentially having Pickens on Thanksgiving afternoon against the defending, well, not defending champion, defending AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is again a product of a great defense, or at least a really good defense, going against an elite offense with a Cowboys. I'll say at this point, they have a solid run stopping defense. I still have a lot of questions about their pass defense. And the Chiefs aren't really putting up points like that, even with all the receivers now back and healthy. They're not really dominating they're not throwing it in the air like they did years ago. But
Man, I know this is an aside, but imagine if the Chiefs had McMillan. Patrick Mahomes needs someone like that.
I'm still waiting for Patrick Mahomes, like when Brady got Moss in '07. I'm waiting for Mahomes to get his version of Moss going back to
Why
like
they ever let go of Tyreek is still beyond me. He was that guy
they
for
didn't want to
them.
pay him. They didn't want to pay for the receiver.
He was arguably the best receiver in football when they let him walk.
But do the Cowboys have a chance? Do you think the Cowboys offense has a
I think
chance?
it's more do the Chiefs have a chance?
Oh, really? You think the Cowboys are the favorite in this one?
I mean, it's at home.
They are coming off. They are the best, at least passing wise. I think the best passing offense. Them in St. Louis in the Rams.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. I mean, if the
but
Chiefs are going to win this game, it's going to purely be because of Patrick Mahomes.
yeah,
That it won't be because of their defense. It won't be because of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's back on the team
I
after
was
he
so shocked
exited.
when I saw him on the field. I'm like, wait, he's still there?
Yeah, he came back. He was on some other team and they signed him to his practice squad. Now he's back. I
Oh
mean,
man,
Patrick Mahomes is going to have to carve up this defense for them to win this game,
which he could. Like this defense
which he
is.
could. I mean,
It,
their defense has been very bad this year, and the Chiefs defense is good. I think this will be a really, really good game. This will probably be arguably the game of the week. I think it's possible, but I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys the slight edge just because I like their offense better. I don't like the quarterback better, but their offense overall is way more well-rounded, I think, than the Chiefs' offense is.
I think if this becomes a game of explosions, like this is a high passing game, I don't. I think the Cowboys win it, which is crazy thinking I'm going against Patrick Mahomes in a high
Yeah,
scoring
me
game.
too.
But I don't think I don't think they have the Chiefs really have the firepower. They don't have a guy that I know Rice can be that guy somewhat, but they don't have a guy like George Pickens or even CD that like I'm just gonna chuck this 50 yards, go catch it, and they can just catch it or cause a pass interference penalty. Something Pickens also is a master for Pittsburgh. He just calls a lot of penalties for deep yards like that. But if this is like a 20 to 23 game, then I think this would be a case of Chiefs win. Gun to my head, I'm always going with two teams that are about equal. I'm going to go with the better quarterback, so I guess I'll go with the Chiefs in that way. But yeah, this
I
is
think they're the quarterback matchup, at least based on how Mahomes has played this year alone. I think it's closer than people think it that it is. Mahomes has just not looked the same this year.
no, that's fair, but it's still Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true,
I'm
but I
still
mean,
going.
Dak is arguably an MVP candidate at this point.
It's crazy the fact that the Chiefs are essentially playing for the playoff lives. They can maybe afford to lose one more game and that's it. And
They
everyone
basically have to win out to make it.
and the Cowboys, they don't even have to win out. Just the way I think they can. They have what a 5-1 at this point. So like they can essentially. I don't think they will win the division, but they can take a wild card spot. But no, this is who knew by Thanksgiving Day we'll have so many crazy postseason scenarios on Thanksgiving itself.
I
And
know.
and if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt, we'll probably have all Thanksgiving, all the teams we're playing will be a crazy postseason scenario. But
No, the games on Thanksgiving are actually going to be good this year for once. Literally, historically, over the course of my life, at least one has been just
now
terrible.
watch three blowouts.
I know. It's just because I said that.
Well, we're gonna figure it out now in about well, yeah, we're gonna figure out sometime today in a few minutes. So yeah, Chelsea, hit us with where they can find us so we can watch football and stuff our face.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in next week for our our recap of this week. Follow us on our socials. We are on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Launch Codes Football. We are on Twitter at Launch Codes FB, and we have a group on the Chat BCC app where we talk all things football. If you guys are interested, hit us up and we can get you the link. I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel.
and we will see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.